When does a regular old joke become a dad joke? When it becomes apparent. I'm Matt Howes, and this is Shits and Giggles, a podcast for dads. This is Matt Howes, Shits and Giggles, a podcast for dads. I'm your host, and I'm just really tired. Yeah. Hey there, winners. Welcome back to another exciting episode of the high energy, that's a throwback to all of you who may be just tuning in for the first time. That's a throwback to my original episode that I decided to record. And it was low energy as all hell. I was tired with a newborn, and so I decided to click in and completely redo it, and here we are with the finished product. Welcome back, winners. Shits and Giggles, podcast for dads. Happy New Year. I'm Matt Howes. I'm very excited once again to be here to tell you about life as it is. Life as we know it. Life, the universe, and everything 42. You know what I'm saying, guys? Well, it's been a hell of a weekend. It's Tuesday. So yeah, I have had a lot going on. We had the holidays, we had all the fun things, New Year's, and all that wonderful jazz. And honestly, it's a combination of lack of sleep recently and Jedi Fallen Order and Borderlands 3 that have kind of made this week a slightly procrastinated episode. But I have quality and I have quantity for you today. But before we get to that, why don't we get to everyone's favorite opening segment, just a little bit of Dad Vice. Today's Dad Vice, everyone, pretty simple. Cleanliness is next to godliness. We must make sure our little ones remain clean, lean, and, well, not mean, unless it's the situation, of course, calls for it. Always keep those handy little baby wipes around. Those little babies are constantly putting their hands in their mouths and their toes, oddly enough, in their mouths. Something that some people probably wish they could still do, and something that some people probably still can do. But for those who can do and those who wish to do, just remember that all that saliva generates all kinds of place for bacteria and breeding grounds for germs to come out. You can sometimes see a little bit of grime between their fingers and toes, but one area you should particularly look out for, especially in the newborn to early toddler stage before they start really moving their neck all that much, is their neck. They have the tendency to get a lot of drool leaking down there, and then it causing a lot of red irritation and chafing, and then unfortunately a little bit of that gross chafy cheese that smells horrendous. You're looking for a really good way to wake someone up from a deep nap. Just put a little dab of that on your finger. That's your dad advice. Wake someone up with a little bit of your baby's neck cheese. Gross, I know, but it's something that you have to really look at. It's something you may not have thought you had to look out for, but it for sure is something you should always wipe under their necks, like in the folds, because that is it's a weird place to get chafed. As an adult, you probably don't think about that much, but babies do chafe often and a lot. A little bit of Aquaphor can take care of it, and a nice little wipe every now and again can prevent it from getting that bad. And that's today's stinky dad advice. Not that it stank, but that it could. It had the potential to stink. You know, did everybody enjoy the New Year's episode? Did everybody like all of our fun topics? Did we enjoy the interview? I hope you did, because it was fun for me. I hope particularly you enjoyed my bonus episode at the end, which is what I referenced earlier. That was the original episode of Shits and Giggles that was previously up until now never released, because it was so horrid, so embarrassing, so cringing to listen to. I played it for my wife, who had never heard it before also, and she had a very similar reaction to that, and I thought at the time I thought it was so good. But yeah, well, no, I don't think I thought it was good. I thought it was silver star. All right, not the whatever's below bronze, not the tarnished bronze left behind. But I thought that'd be fun to release as a little bit of bonus for you all for just hanging around and wondering if it wasn't always this fantastic with this great audio quality. And no, it absolutely was not. Though I did order my original set of equipment all on Amazon for same-day delivery. I remember that. Sitting there in the morning, I had originally, millions of years ago, done a podcast about video games. I had given away almost all my equipment except for my very incredible microphones, and that's about it. So I needed a mixing board, I needed mic stands, I needed all kinds of things, and Amazon is the greatest. Same-day delivery. I literally ordered a mixing board, everything I just said, and cables. Like, I don't need 20-foot cables like I have. I only need 2-footers because I'm sitting right next to the board. It was amazing. And so that's how this whole thing came up. Then came the isolation booths that we use. We got the new pop filters. We have the new board now, my new microphone, all kinds of stuff. The evolution of this show is an enigma, a mystery wrapped in an enigma, because, it's just all stuff that I apparently taught myself how to do and I never forgot. So it's also why I executive produced my wife's show 90 Days After Lockup, which I also named, and it's about 90 Day Fiance and Love After Lockup. She does a recap. It's actually pretty fucking popular, honestly. She's got a lot of followers too, and she's shot out of a cannon. So when you find a niche, ladies and germs, when you find a niche, that is when you find good quality people like you out there, talking to you. Yeah, I'm looking at you. You're pretty much, I know I started this a little bit closer towards the end of the year, but we got about a half a year's worth of episodes, 26, this being 27. So I want to say we got a good half year in there. Again, Penny was born in July. There was a time where I was doing more than one episode a week. And it became harder and harder to find the time. Weirdly enough, it was easier to find the time earlier on in Penny's life, but whatever. So it's been a hell of a year and change, I'll call it, because I got married December 1st. So we'll lump that in here. We moved into a new apartment in the end of that same month. We were pregnant at the time, so I did most of the moving, if not all. But we moved. We had Penny. We've had friends getting married. We have friends having kids. I've moved offices. I've had a much different position in my work at The Bachelor, and that's kind of been pretty cool. So it's been a hell of a year. And change, we'll call it that because it starts at December 1st. It starts at conception, I suppose, but we'll call it December 1st. I hope everyone's had a pretty changing year. It's been a very enlightening year. There have been a lot of good changes, a lot of subtle changes, and just evolving and maturing as you have to read up with the situation. So I hope that all of you fledgling parents and soon-to-be parents out there also find and rise to the occasion to meet your new responsibilities of parenthood. But I digress. I just wanted to point out I had a hell of a year, and I hope you did too. If you didn't, here's hoping for this year, 2020. You know what? What's weird is, at the but right before New Year's, people asked me what I was doing. What was the first episode of this new year gonna be? What's your first episode gonna be after the New Year's ball drops? And I said, I don't know, guy. I don't got 2020 vision. Oh, am I right? Come on. 2020 vision. And then afterwards, they were like, hey man, what's your newest episode about? And I'm like, I don't know. I haven't recorded it yet. Ayo! I'm recording it now, obviously. As you know, I love to let you know that I'm recording it now because you're a live, captive audience. All right, ladies, gentlemen, mostly dads of the world, unite. We're back. It's a new year. It's Happy New Beers. Gentlemen, we're coming out. We got it's getting warmer here in Southern California, which I don't like because it's not my temperature. I prefer the cold from New England. So let's just dive right in. Daycare in general. Anyone out there who uses Daycare, I would like your opinion on this. Does anyone else feel judged by the Daycare people? I feel like I am not holding my myself accountable to the standard that they have set for my daughter. And I feel, and we use the I feels in this is like counseling. I feel that they're a little judgy. They go, oh, okay, well, she had a bottle a few minutes ago, so she'll be good in 2 hours at exactly 1:35. And I'll just be like, cool, I think I'm just going to feed her when she starts crying because she's 6 months old, which she will be tomorrow, by the way. But whatever, you have your way, I have mine. I don't like my daughter crying, and that's where I'm at right now. I know it's going to change, but don't tell me how to do it, Miss Daycare lady. Also, I go there and we got they'll be like, oh, did you accidentally take someone else's bottle lid? And I go, you put them in my bag for me, so you pack them. So I don't think I could have possibly, since I don't just go carousing, they're labeled. It's like somebody says that they got a different lid. And I noticed that you got the same kind of bottle, but it's like slightly different. And I'm like, well, I'll tell you what, I'll keep a lookout for it. And guys, I haven't given a shit about that since I left. And they've asked about it. And I just say, nope, don't have it. I probably do. In fact, if I did, it's going on the trophy shelf because clearly this person is so overly obsessed with the cover for their bottle that they couldn't have labeled it like we label all of ours. But no, of course, it came home with us. Oh, we got someone else's bottle. It's our fault. Oh, excuse me. Let me go out of my way to get you your bottle. Go buy a new bottle. Come on. Hey, come on. Get out of here. What's the matter, you? I feel so behind the eight ball. It's our first kid. So when you walk into daycare, these are trained professionals, or they should be for what we fucking pay a month. But they are, they've been there. They've been through a bunch of different kids. They've seen all stages. We as parents, new parents, Sarah and I, have only seen a child from newborn to 6 months tomorrow. And we've only had to deal with that physically ourselves, not including our friends' kids and my little brother and sister when they were babies, blah, blah, blah. But I'm talking about we don't have the experience that these people have. And I feel like they may take it a bit for granted that this is our first kid. So don't sit there and act like I'm supposed to know everything. You went to school for this. I did not go to school for baby rearing. I didn't. I've made that abundantly clear. In episode 1, I made it clear that I asked one question at the one baby class we went to. I said, how do you clean shit out of a vagina? And everyone looked at me like I had two heads. And listen, I don't have the equipment. Okay, I don't know how to use it. I do now. I'm good. Well, I don't have the equipment now. Let me clarify. I know how to clean. I am really good at keeping my baby clean, and that's the end of that. But they've taken classes. They've had several kids. Each one of these people, it's 4-to-1 ratio adults to babies. And geez, they know what they're doing. Okay, but don't make it seem like I don't know what I'm doing. I know how to handle my kid, but you may have different methods you prefer to use, which is fine. I told Sarah, and I think I've said this to you all. I said that, okay, well, you put her on a schedule and we'll keep to it. Now I kind of feel like that's not the way I want to live. I feel like I go home and in secret, I do my own schedule. It's a secret baby schedule, far away from what the daycare Nazis want to do. It's a secret daycare schedule, right? A secret home schedule. And when she goes to daycare, she has to pretend to use their schedule, but oh no, she uses ours at home. She does. Well, it's not that really, it's not that bad. I'm venting as I do, but it's just, I do. And I'm sure anyone out there who uses daycare, the daycare is going to have their particular way of doing things, and you're going to have your particular way of doing things, and it's going to be an unstoppable force versus an immovable object, and that's just the way it is. So you have to kind of learn to fight your battles, or pick your battles, and move on from there. It's just trying to figure out what the best stride out there for you is, and that's daycare. It's only getting better with time. Moving on, moving in, I suppose, it's kind of in the same realm of topical conversation with daycare. Anyone ever dealt with Tommy Tippy bottles? I thought they were cool. They look cool. They seem like the new bottle. We got a bunch of them, but the problem we're having is I know we buy the number ones tits, but I feel like it's the same size that we use for all of our bottles. But specifically Tommy Tippy, when she's drinking it, it collapses on itself because there's no air getting into it, and it does have an air intake supposedly. I've seen it, but I literally had to, you'll see the nipple slowly like reach in, like the air pressure is being unbalanced on the inside, and then you pull it out of her mouth and it slowly sucks in air from the nipple, so it's not coming from anywhere else. But this is another thing Daycare is giving us shit about. They're like, you should just poke a hole in them, but make the hole bigger. Back in my day we used to use a fork to do it, and I was like, well, a fork's rectangular. I don't think that'd be like the best thing to do. I could probably use a needle. I have a nail. I have very many round, but they were all about the forks. Well, we tried to do it. We did it with a toothpick on one, and it seemed to work. But I feel like it just went back It went back to its elasticity. It went back to the same size, and it's just obnoxious because now we're just gonna buy the next level up, which I hate this with bottles. Fucking expensive shit. To buy 6 new nipples would be the same as to buy 6 new nipples with the bottles. So you might as well just buy the new bottles. That's a little bit of an over exaggeration, but not that much, to be honest with you. And you got to get the fast. We're going to try the fast reservoir. I just kind of think we got some bum bottles. Like they're just not working. I might take a look at them. I might tinker around. I can build things. I can fix anything. I guess I can try these analog non-digital bottles and figure out a way to find out why the water or the air reserve is not working. I'll figure that out. But yeah, our Daycare is like, oh, well, it's taking us so long to feed her. And I'm like, well, that's what I pay you for. So seems like a problem for you. And again, I look at it this way. Daycare is my employees, the way that it works for me. If I pay them, I pay Daycare. Daycare pays those people. Ipso facto, I'm your boss, right? And yes, that was a Average Joe's reference. What was it? The movie Dodgeball reference. Yeah, I pay the bank pays you. Ipso facto, I'm your boss. I know. And listen, that's how I look at it. To be honest, I'm sorry. I'm not like, this isn't volunteer work, and it for sure isn't you telling me how to live and do my own stuff. Now I'm going to listen to you because they do know things, like I said, but don't give me shit when I haven't had the chance to buy new bottles. Shit, Christmas just went by. We're trying to rebuild the coffers here. I don't feel like buying 6 new reservoirs if all the problem is it's taking you a little bit longer to feed her. She's not in distress, so do your job. Do your job. Unlike the Patriots, boy. It was a good season. And it's sad that we had to lose against the Dolphins. I'm not going to go on too much of a rant about this. Old Tommy's having a rough go of it. Free agency has reached him now, and, may God have mercy on his soul. But, hey, look, you're a fan. You're not a fan if you can't be there for the losses. I don't turn around when my team doesn't do well, and it's because they really don't do well very often. Don't do poorly very often. They do well a lot. That's what I meant to say. And that's that. But, yeah, R.I.P., do your job. That was their slogan last year. And they did not do their jobs this year. Well, I guess they did because their jobs are just to play football. But whatever. We're moving on from that. I'm sorry. Tommy Tippy bottles. If anyone has had these nonsense issues with the reservoir not working correctly, please let me know if there was a solution you found, because we're going to buy new ones soon. But if I don't have to, that would be phenomenal. Don't let Daycare tell you how to raise your kids. Unless you're shitty at raising your kids and you're looking for advice or soliciting for advice, then let them tell you. Go ahead. That's okay to ask for help. That's what we're here for. All of us. Oh, okay, getting out of Daycare for a little while. One of the last things I have prepared for you this morning is, I miss hanging out with my friends. And it's a bittersweet kind of thing because I love hanging out with my wife and daughter. I prefer it. That's all I want to do. I miss the idea of hanging out. Right now, this is how it is because we're not getting a whole lot of stuff. I guess I miss the idea of hanging out with my friends. But when it comes down to it, it's very taxing, especially if they don't have kids. It's a little much because all we're focused on is making sure Penny's, if she's with us, is making sure she's okay. And we do have a couple of friends who just had a kid, so that's fun. We can talk about our kids. But it's just so much to handle right now. I haven't talked to some people. My best friend Johnny's getting married this weekend. I'm in his wedding party, and I haven't seen him in a month. And, I don't have the energy. It's just a lot to get out of the house, especially, again, to get her to my in-laws' house to be watched. We have to drive significantly far away to have that happen, like 40 minutes. And to put that into perspective, Johnny and Lila live 1 minute from my apartment, give or take, honestly. So if I wanted to go and hang out with Johnny and Lila without the kid, I would have to drive her all the way up to Sylmar, and then it's a long way away. It's a big thing. And that weighs on you, just thinking about, like, what are you going to do this weekend? Oh, we could hang out with someone. And then you start going through all the steps you need to take in order to make sure that happens smoothly. And look, I only want to, like, right now, and my friends all know, it's not like I'm hiding from them or anything, but it's just a lot. She's not sleeping. So we're not sleeping, and it's exhausting. And frankly, sitting on the couch and just watching TV and not fucking saying anything for a few hours is great. And my friends have done that. I have friends who do that with me all the time, and that's fine. But it's like, you have someone over. When I have someone over, I feel like, okay, I got to put her around. What am I going to do? I got to be the host. When I go to someone else's house, I don't feel comfortable not participating in conversation. So right now I'm just kind of in the limbo of, I love and I miss my friends. Miss hanging out with them. Sarah, same. We miss hanging out with our friends. And we have people over from time to time. We go places from time to time. But honestly, I feel like sometimes, and this isn't to make any of my buddies or anything feel uncomfortable, sometimes we're just counting the minutes until we can get back on the road and go home, because we're in bed by 9. Shit, I used to go out at 9. I used to be out of the house at 9. Fuck, I wouldn't go out till 10 sometimes. We'd be out at karaoke. We'd be doing all kinds of shit. But like, now I'm in bed by 8:30 last night. The other night we went to bed, family snuggle at like 6, and we were out. So it's a lot right now. And, friends with kids out there, people with kids, you understand the struggle. It's a real difficulty to balance. This is almost like when you have a really taxing job. It is a taxing job. It's that work-life balance. Got to find your way to make it the best. And right now, we'll call this work, even though we'll call hanging out at home life. And then going out with friends is the work right now. And the balance, the scales are a little uneven. We want life to matter a little bit more, because we also have to. This is a work-life friend balance. That's a lot. There's 3 things to balance. I don't even know how that scale would look. Three things on a scale? What? I'm not saying what? I mean, come on. But it's just, if you are, I kind of right now we're targeting more of the. If you're about to have a kid, if you've had one in the last year or so, you're probably right on board with me. We take her out with us everywhere we go, and it's a production. It's a production to get her out of the house. It's a lot to do. And, it doesn't stop you from going to church, going to work, taking her out wherever you have to go. It doesn't stop you from doing it. But, I mean, there are times where you're like, I just as soon not go, to be honest with you. TBH, IDK, my BFF Jill, it's crazy. And to go, I love my friends, and they're very understanding, so they get it. Yeah, but it's just a lot. I mean, I've been trying to schedule dinner with my buddy Greg. I've been trying to schedule dinner with a couple people just to have a dinner at the house for like 3 months. And it's just been hard to and then you have to balance other people's schedules. We're in bed early. So other people who would normally, back in the day, would come over at 9, no big deal. We'd all hang out, have some pizza. That's not a thing anymore, because we got to put I'll put the kid to bed. We'll stay up, Sarah and I will stay up for a couple hours after that with friends. It's happened a bunch of times. But it's not something we plan to do unless it's a real big production. So now it's like, I want you over like by 5, and let's wrap it up by 7:30 or 8. And that's it is what it is. I've been trying to get these things going, and it's just daunting to think about. And then you feel like it's like The Sims. Friendship is like a plant. If you don't water it, it'll never grow. You ever get that phone call? God, did that cut you deep? When like the families, like the family down the street, whatever they always had the names. I forget what they were. This is a million years ago. They'd be like, you were best friends for 5 minutes, and then you didn't call them enough because you're focusing on your work, and you get hey, friendship is like a plant. If you don't water it, it'll never grow. And they'll say, so and so is no longer your friend. And then that's the end of it. You have to go and hug and joke, and repeatedly do the same things, just like life. It's very simple. I don't feel that that's happening with any of my friends. I constantly reach out. Sarah, the same, but it's just one of those things where there's something a little bit more taxing in our life, and it's the most important thing in my life, in our life right now, and it trumps everything else. And thank God we're going to the rehearsal dinner on Friday. I'm very excited about that for Johnny's wedding, and I am very excited we're able to take Penny, because I didn't want to leave her somewhere for the night, because we have to. We're going to the wedding on Sunday. She's going to be at the in-laws, maybe even Saturday and Sunday, depending on how the whole day's gonna work, and that's a whole nother animal. Not being around my 6-month daughter is also crazy, because it's a new feeling. I feel like I'm missing something. She was away from me for one night when we had our company party, and I literally was still rolling over and turning the little button for the vibration feature on her bassinet on every hour, like she was still in the thing. And then when she's not around, sometimes I'll look and I'll be like, oh, where is she? And I'm like, okay, she's not supposed to be here. Okay. So it's a lot, because all I'm doing is making sure she's not dead. That's the lifestyle of a parent right now. Make sure she stays alive and happy and healthy is your number one. So that takes a little bit more precedence over going out and grabbing a couple drinks. But that being said, we have made plenty of time to go out and hang out with friends. I'm not saying we're homebodies. I'm not saying that by any accounts. I'm just saying that it's hard. But the missing your friends is still out there, but it's like the mind, what is it? The body is willing, but the mind is weak. Or the other way around. The mind is willing, but the body is weak. It's just the whole production of dragging her around everywhere is one thing, and then being without her is another thing. It's a true double-edged sword. I hate having to schlep her around, because it makes her uncomfortable. I also hate her not being around me, because it makes me uncomfortable, and that's that. So look forward. I would say look forward to it, because this is the greatest time of my life. Honest to God, I have everything. Everything is in my house. I got my wife and my kid, and that's all I need. And my friends are the best, and they're very understanding, obviously. And my family is great. And so I have it all. So this is the best time of my life. So I'm not going to say look forward to this. You'll find the balance. You'll figure it out. It's not that hard. But don't be afraid to just say, I'm staying in for the weekend because I don't want to go out. You don't need to make an excuse. But the baby is the number one excuse. Dad advice. Baby is the number one excuse to get out of every single thing there is. The baby, blah, blah, blah. Dad advice. Alrighty. Moving on. Keep the flow going. Keep the fun happening. Happy New Year! You can feel it in the wind. The winds of change. The winds of new beginnings. The winds of fun, the winds of happiness, the winds of cheer, the winds of our favorite segment of the Dadly News. The Dadly News is brought to you by Hard Hats and Bibs. Who are they, you may ask? They are a group of men and women who aim to show that it doesn't matter what gender you are, parenting is an even distribution of responsibilities. It's time to break stigmas. There's a lot more to them than just that, but you can learn more about them by yourself by going on their Facebook page by searching Hard Hats and Bibs. You can also reach them at email, hardhatsandbibs@gmail.com. They are on Instagram, Twitter, and we did an extensive interview with them on our New Year's episode. Feel free to check that out. It was pretty much the whole episode, and it was great. They're standing up for all kinds of good things. Why not take a listen? Now, I am all for father-son bonding activities. Love it. Find something good to do together that makes you both happy. But let's see how this one runs by you. This is from WSB-TV, WSB-TV.com. Dad and son arrested for driving around town with siren. PA system, deputies say. With siren and a PA system, deputies say. Ryan Schmidt and his son Luke Schmidt are accused of driving around Woodstock with a siren and a PA system on their car, Cherokee County Sheriff's Office. Cherokee County, Georgia. A Cherokee County father and son are facing charges for driving around Woodstock while using a siren and talking to people from the PA system on their car, deputies say. Someone called 911 to report the car around 11 a.m. Saturday. The caller said the man inside was instructing people to get out of their vehicles. Deputy found the car, stopped in a shopping center in Town Lake. Inside, they found 51-year-old Ryan Schmidt and his 17-year-old son Luke Schmidt and 3 of his son's friends. Deputies say Ryan Schmidt was operating the siren and PA system while his son drove the car. Schmidt explained that he had recently purchased the siren and PA and was showing it off to his son and friends in the vehicle. Howard Baker with the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office said. Luke Schmidt was charged with the use of an emergency siren and aggressive driving. Ryan Schmidt was charged with the use of an emergency siren and party to the crime of aggressive driving. Now that's one dad that I bet you that Luke's friends thinks that he is the shit. Now, I'd say that as far as it goes, impersonating a police officer is pretty fucked up. But as far as crimes go, I'd say they got a slap on the wrist for that. You can get in deep shit for impersonating a police officer, but that sounds like a lot of fun. If I can be honest with you, if my dad and I and a bunch of my friends got in the back of a truck and started running around like we're police officers, and I mean, it's fucking not the end of the world. They didn't hurt anybody, pull anybody over, write a ticket, or point a gun at anybody. I'm sure people got a little freaked out and being asked to leave your car. It's a little invasive, but I bet you his friends are gonna be like, "Dude, you're the coolest, man. We're the best cool. They're the cool crew. They're the cool crew and the dad. My dad's the coolest, right?" And I mean, Jesus, that's cool. I hate to abdicate for that, but that's pretty cool. I don't necessarily know if I could ever go through with something along those lines. But let's file that under parental bonding. Yeah, I bet you the two of them are now closer than ever, as their court dates and arraignments are probably also very close together. And yeah, let's just say there are different schools of thought on what constitutes proper bonding and what's mild felonies. You know, who knows? I mean, technically, fishing without a license is illegal, but people do it all the time. So who's to say what really is against the law, right? That would be the judges, and the judges deemed him probably unworthy of forgiveness. But I'm sure they'll get nothing bad. That's the Dadly News. I thought that was funny. That looked like an interesting article. But, again, it highlights what the lengths one would go to bond with their son. Good for you, big guy. Good for you. But here we are moving along as we do constantly. As we're spinning, we're hurtling through space on this rock, your third rock from the sun in a spiral arm galaxy, as everything's just crashing around in the chaotic universe that we reside in. And one thing that is as chaotic as the universe itself, it is where is my penny at developmentally? I said, where is my penny at developmentally? Okay, penny development, fun times. Who all is ready for another wonderful installment of what my daughter has been up to the last week? Well, she's still teething, which is probably why she isn't sleeping. And if you're wondering why I've probably said that a few times, it's because it's still happening. Those of you who have children will understand that if things are still happening, you tend to talk about them more than once. So, yeah, she's for sure teething. But when she does bite down on some of those, you can freeze some of these little teethers. They have water in them, and it really soothes the gums. She really likes that. Really anything, honestly. She'll even bite on my finger. She bites on her own fingers. And I'm not looking forward to it. It's only going to be until all of her teeth come in. So, till her ship comes in, I suppose. She has this really, ever since she got sick, she has this cough cry. Like, she'll go... Like it's all, but it's a cry. She's crying, but it's a cough, and it worries me because it's like what's it's almost like she's possessed. Like she does. First off, speaking of possessed, sometimes she'll just be like, and I'm like, that's the Exorcist right there. But we'll talk about that. But yeah, this cough cry, it's really bad. And again, I don't know if she's even sick as much as she's just got a runny nose now, but she's got a little bit of a chesty cough. But this coffee cry is a little disturbing. We have our 6-month appointment coming up, so we're just going to go to that. She just doesn't have a fever. She doesn't seem unbothered, so no sense going to the urgent care if we got a doctor's appointment already lined up. But boy, it's just sad. It makes me really sad to hear her do this like distressed coffee cry. And then, lastly, she tried. Well, aside from the pudding my mother-in-law fed her, we mashed up a sweet potato, and we got her to try solid food for the first time, and she didn't hate it. She didn't love it. She didn't hate it. She put it in her mouth, and she mashed it around, and she got it all over her face, and she got it all over her shirt and her pants and her hands. But some went in. Yeah, but she seemed to, she'd open her mouth and stuff. We were just sitting on the floor. It wasn't anything super formal for feeding, but she seemed, it's good. And they say it's at this point, at 6 months, you start solid foods, or you're allowed to. It's recommended that, or it's whatever. You can start solid foods, but at this point, it's not for nutritional purposes. It's to get them used to eating foods. Like you're still bottle feeding, and we have a food processor, so we make our own kind of foods and like the mashy foods. But she tried it again. It didn't really, that's the end of it. There's no like big revelation. Like she tried it and instantly started reciting Shakespeare, and she built a model spaceship out of spare parts around the house after she tried solid food. No. She came out with a recommendation to Harvard. I don't even know where she got it, but it was for her because she tried solid food. No, that's, come on, it's the little things. So developmental stuff. But yeah, they say that it's just to get them used to the idea and their stomachs used to the idea of having food that's not liquid. And that's great because it's also supposed to help them sleep a little bit better, which would be fucking wonderful. But that's it, guys. That's it. Stretch out. Get those muscles stretched out, get the burn, get the pump going. That was a good one. It's fun. First of the year, last year. God, haven't seen you guys since last year. It's been a year since I released an episode, right? It's been a decade. Since I but yeah, it's first of the year, guys. We got a brand new 2020 Matt House Shits and Giggles station wagon coming at you. Yeah, first car I had was station wagon. Come on, and I'm excited. I'm very, very positive about this year. It's gonna be a good one. Penny's gonna have a great time. We're gonna have a great time. The world's going to be a great place, and I'm happy to live in it. So I keep getting all these messages from people. The podcast should be on Pandora in the next couple of weeks. Apparently, their process is like 4 weeks to get approved. I just found out that I wasn't on there. I submitted to everywhere. If there is a place, if there's someone that wants to listen but they don't have it, then they can't find it, let me know because I can submit to that directly. But I've submitted to most of them. Now all of them, actually, as far as I'm concerned, because Pandora was the last one I didn't know you could actually submit to their podcasts. But yeah, so I'm out there. You can find me wherever podcasts can be found. Search as used, wherever podcasts can be found. New episodes every Tuesday. And so yeah, again, as I always request, write a review. I got a bunch of people writing reviews. It's true. Yeah, I've reached people reaching out to me. It's great. We're doing new things. We're doing great things. If there's something you want to hear, if there's something you want to hear, you tell me about it. You come at me, bro. Let's go, and just share it with a friend. If you found someone, they're having a kid soon, reach out to them. Just tell them this is a good show to listen to. It is a good show to listen to, and it's perfect for someone who's got a newborn or is about to have a kid. So do me a favor, spread the word. We are literally cascading across the country. I have listeners from all over the United States and some out of the country as well, and it is growing. We're growing exponentially at a phenomenal rate, and it's all because of you. So pat yourselves on the back. Have a happy new year, and I gotta go. You know how it works. I'm gonna leave you, as I do every week, with my world famous words of wisdom. My kid is better than your kid, and vaccinate your kids or keep them the hell away from mine. I'm Matt Howes, and this has been Shits and Giggles, a podcast for dads. You've just listened to one dad's perspective on parenting. This show is not meant to be an authority on how you should raise your kids. Did you enjoy the show? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share on social media. Leave a review. Anywhere that you can find and download podcasts, you can find Shits and Giggles. Find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at shitsandgigs42 with 2 Gs. Email us at shitsandgigs42@gmail.com. You can find us on YouTube as well by searching for Shits and Giggles, a podcast for dads. Don't forget, you can also call the hotline to leave a quick story about you as a parent at 818-835-2350. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.